How did it affect staff training? We're doing the competency-based training like you guys heard already. And we have an SOP for the point repair. So everybody is able to go, get the point repair, and go from A to Z and install a point repair. And obviously that's a huge benefit. But the experience out in the field, you can't buy it. You have to do it. Because we were able to do it, we're going to show a little slideshow. We're able to do repairs, and we've done repairs that we haven't had. There wasn't any pipe for like 3 feet, and we were able to jump a void and create, say, another pipe in there. And we're able now to clean the entire pipe. So it's crazy, the stuff that we're able to do. We went to a class, I got to bring it up. We went to a class a while back, and there's probably some engineers here, but we had an engineer in the class, and they were showing us how to do different types of trenches. And when we were there, and they were saying how there was only a little hole at 12 o'clock on the pipe. And they were saying that they could not do a trenches point repair through it, that they would have to dig up that site. Well, we raised our hands like, yeah, we can. We've done it many times, and we're able to restore the pipe. So now, all those point repairs that we have, we go to manhole, and we eliminate all the grade 4s and grade 5 out of that pipe. Then we're able to call it restored pipe to the state, and we're good. Another comparison is for 2 years already, from out of the 7 years, we were able to restore more pipe than the contractor. The contractor did 3.4 miles, and we did 3.6 miles of pipe twice, which is huge. It's a huge benefit. What are the lessons learned? Well, we have data for about 20 miles of pipe. I don't know if I told you guys that we have 196 miles of pipe, and 20 miles of pipe we have data on these point repairs. And obviously there's a huge value on it, because we're able to see that reduction in a lot of the stuff that we already mentioned. Also, it's just advises time with the capital improvement project, because we extend the life of the asset, extend the life of the pipe. And right now they're saying 50 years, would be 100 years. I mean, a long time to expand the life expectancy of the pipe. Also, we learned a huge lesson. When there's heavy rain, we kind of step back and not do a lot of them. We have to know where to go to do a point repair, because we leave them overnight and we come back the next day and we pull it out. But you have to know your system, because you don't want to run the risk of an SSO. It's happened to us before, right? Too much rain, too many problems, and we created it back up ourselves. Now, we did experience the unique process that we have. You guys probably heard of Pipe Patch. Great product. We used part of it, but we pieced everything together, from the calibration hose, from the fiberglass mesh, from the epoxy. Before, we used to use an epoxy that was a 4-hour cure window. But now, and we used it for many years, for about 6 years, and we recently focused on our attention on the Pipe Patch epoxy. So we were able to go straight to the vendor and get this material in 5-gallon buckets, and that's how we do it. There's a huge money savings, because if you buy the entire kit, it's about $650. This way, we save a lot of money just using the actual epoxy and not using anything else, because we don't need anything else. We have everything else already. So that is a huge benefit for it. Well, we're gonna go. We're gonna see this slideshow, and then we're gonna go outside to show. We have a couple other pieces of equipment to talk a little bit about. Right now, we're able to. For the longest time, we were able just to put a point repair where there wasn't a lateral. And all the laterals, we would have to go up over there and dig them up. For the longest time, I've been researching. It's been about 3-4 years researching for a system in our 6-inch main to go and do a sock right at the lateral connection. And I almost had a system, but then they moved to Australia and we're done. Now, we're going to show a little video. We had the machine outside, that will go and will line a lateral, line our main where the lateral is at, eliminate that grade 4, grade 5, and then we have the lateral reinstatement cutter that will go through the clean out and cut out the piece and reinstate it. And we're done. We're only responsible for our main, so the grade 4, grade 5 is gone. Yes.
How thick is that lining?
It's very, very thin. It's about 1/8 of an inch. Yeah, on either side. So sometimes you can't even see it. You know how with the transition point. So we're able to do that now and reinstate that lateral and eliminate a lot of these 4s and 5s that were falling behind because we need to go dig them up, and it takes a lot of time to obviously pick them up. So then we're gonna. This is the slideshow, and there's a little bit of language, and I could explain a couple things that are going on. So. This was a almost collapsed pipe, and it was up in the hill, one lane road. So I have to shut the road down, dig it up, and everything, and it was going to cost us quite a bit of money. We got the system, and we went out there, and then you'll see the after. This is the before.
Okay, here's the first repair at Humboldt Deer Park. We did a 4-footer.
We did it in 20 minutes. 20 minutes to install, removal, let it cure, install, removal, and we expanded the whole thing. And we opened it up. This right here, this tree, very expensive. And there was a offset, a gap, and we were able to jump the pouring pair on the other side and create that the gap. We hooked up the pipe and it was ready to go. We didn't have to excavate the tree, the ditch, anything.
No way. Go in, Frank.
This is an easement that we have. Long easement, probably one of the worst easements. We're doing some pouring repairs, and we're able to see how we did the pouring repair, and then there was a void that was too big, and they jumped the bridge there. Did the pouring repair halfway, came back the next day, did the rest of it, the bridge didn't connect it together. This right here is the lateral reinstatement cutter. We had that problem, that void, and then right here, this is what it ended up, and that's the video of the cutting out. A tree took out our sewer line, 2 sections of it, and with the pouring press, we were able to not go in the trench and line it. Right there we have a manhole underneath the deck, about 2 feet deep, and we were able to put a pouring curve wide, connect the entire pipe, and put it back together.
And we fixed another break right above it. And that's that one. And then we have this
That's
right
the
here.
bridge that we're gonna
part of it. We have to put one more repair in. We couldn't get the camera all the way through, so we built the bridge, and then Monday we'll down and tie onto that repair and fix the last break right here. Okay, here's our repair that we
That's the
finished over
result.
to tied another one. Go in, Frank. On Valley. Here's our repair. Fix the turn, there's the void. Right onto the other patch. Right on through. Keep going down, and then we're done. All right, back.
We had things aren't perfect. We had a
This is the repair on Fernhill Mat.
the first picture shows that we weren't able to line it correctly. We went into the void and it blew up on the head lead.
To the downstream pipe.
But then we were able to fix it and put another one in there, and then it came out perfect.
It came out beautiful. There's the
underneath, and it was leaking. We did an external repair.
The void on top.
Picture before was another failed pouring repair that we had to take out. So problems happen.
Here's the repair with the big void that we did with
Intersection of downtown San Anselmo, a contractor shoved a 4-inch pipe into our 6-inch main right at the mouth. They never connected it. Sewage was going into who knows where. So we got called out. 2-hour epoxy, 2-hour cure window. We took out that piece of pipe and then we did a pouring repair right at the mouth, and then you'll see the results right now. That's the result. That's the result. Before from our CCTV equipment. That manhole right there, we had an overflow. There was a big, let me go pause real quick. Oh, that's it. The prior one, we had a overflow right at the mouth. It was completely broken. There's a big void. So the guys went out there, did a pouring repair right at the mouth, and then they put mortar and they fixed the channel all in the backyard. It was pretty straightforward instead of digging it up. So that was that. Right now, I tell the guys all the time that shouldn't say this, but we are able to. We have equipment to do 4-inch pipe all the way to 21-inch pipe. We haven't done 21-inch pipe. We've done up to 12-inch pipe, but we have the equipment, like you can see, to go up to 21 inches, and we have everything. It's all ready to go. So we just have to pull the trigger. Awesome. Any questions? So we can go outside right now, and we'll show the equipment and show the line. Good job, man. We have a little demo that we put together. We use this machine right here. It's got the cutting head. It's got the other cutting heads over here on this side, on this table, to go and cut out the point repair. Okay?
Does that run off, what's that run?
Power. It's yeah. You just hook it up. There you go. It's electrical. Electric. So the other benefit for this machine is the failed point repairs that we had. This right here with the 6-inch head will bore a 6-inch hole through it and take out all the failed liner and give us another chance to do another point repair. Or if the point repair didn't attach completely on either end, that machine will do it. We'll open it up and then
Up to 100 feet.
yeah, up to 100 feet.
You gotta have 100 feet from access point, because outside that, it's useless.
So these are the plugs that we use. This is straight 8-inch for 8-inch pipe. This is for 4-inch pipe, and then this is for the one that we have inside for 6-inch pipe. We have multiple plugs inside the truck. We have, this is the longest one that we have for 6-inch. It's a 15-foot plug. Very difficult to, I mean, can't say very difficult, but it's difficult to install. And this is for, I think, 12. I think it's 12 inch plug, and like I said, we have in the shop bigger one. Okay. This is an option that we do use sometimes. Most of the pouring repairs that we do, we hook up a hand rod to it, hook up to the plug, and shove it down the line. Sometimes we can't get to a certain point, and that's where we use the winch to bring them in. And always attach the hand rods to the plug, attach the winch to the opposite side, and pull it in, right? And then the next day, go ahead and pull it out. So we run Aries equipment. We have the crawler, mainline crawler, and then we have over here on this side the push camera, Canon tail push camera. It's been working great past 7 years. That's all we've been using. So it's worked to this moment. Now we're gonna show this right here, this pipe. We did a pouring repair already, and they're gonna take out the plug. This is, say we installed it the day before, 2 hours before, whatever you want to call it, and now we come back and we're gonna remove the plug. Go ahead.
So first of all, we have a tank that will, I want to show them the tank, that will regulate our air. We want to have at least 30 pounds at all times. So if we're losing air or connections anywhere in the tank, it'll keep feeding from this gauge, from this regulator. So while we're gone, it'll keep it pressurized.
If there's a leak.
If there's a leak. And then when we come back, first thing we do is make sure that we have the pounds that we wanted. Should be all good, and we'll let it go. So think if we had 150 feet of pipe, and at 75, and right in the middle there was a defect, we would have on our computer system from our CCTV, they would say, here's the problem. We had a picture of it, there's the footage. We'd go down with probably our push cam, we'd push down, we'd find it, we'd mark it on our push cam exactly where it's at. We would put hand rods together, and then we would roll our push cam out on the ground and mark it out on our hand rods. Then when we push it back in, we know we're right where we're supposed to be.
And that's what it is. So then we could flip it around, and you guys are able to see inside. You cannot see all these defects that you see on the outside of the pipe. Without the pouring repair, you're able to see all the defects. We're able to do pouring repairs through any type of material, right? Even AC pipe. The AC pipe, we don't have to dig it up. Do a pouring repair. We're about to do one soon, and don't have to dig it up and just do it, and it's done. So you're able to see what it'll make. It'll cover up the defects, the holes,
Voids, cracks,
the voids,
breaks,
anything.
move some offsets.
Yeah.
Depending on how much compaction is on the soil.
How long is your fabric?
How long? We can cut it to size, whatever size you want. We have it in a big roll. That's one of the things that we say, put everything together. We customize everything, as in the fiberglass mesh. We have it in rolls. We able to cut it down to whatever size you want, width, length. So that. Also the calibration hose, this green hose right here, comes in 500 feet a roll, 360, whatever you want, and we just cut it to length, and then we just put it together.
How do you put the epoxy?
The epoxy, we're going to show you right now.
Can you put a full 5-foot patch, or do you have taper points on that big to do a 4-foot repair, or can you do a 5-foot repair?
Seems like you know what you're doing. So there's marks right here on each plug. There's tapers on them. So you have to mark your taper in order to know where you're going to set the fiberglass. So on this plug right here, you're only able to go from here to here. If you go past that mark, that is not going to adhere to the pipe because you have the taper mark. Okay, so you got to be super careful.
You call that a calibration? What?
Calibration hose. This green bag right here.
So the green bag, does that stop it from expanding?
Yeah. Correct. Yes.
Okay.
That's the calibration hose from 4-inch all the way to whatever amount. It will bring it up to whatever size.
Keeps the pressure equal too.
It out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes it does. It does though. You got to be careful. Sometimes it does.
You'll hear it when it blows.
When there's a big void, you got to be careful on how many pounds you're pumping in there because you will blow it up. You got to be careful.
Okay.
But we have blown it up, and then the next day we come in and we do another one, and you can't even see it. Yeah. See right there. So now we're gonna go inside and do the entire process. I don't know if you guys want to see the entire process inside, and then we're gonna bring it out and we're gonna do the point repair through here.
So act as if this is a void, and we're gonna jump the void. Hole. Here's some holes. We're gonna try to fix this void right here.
If you guys want to come over here and check it out, I mean, it's gonna be hard to see. Yeah, it's hot. The design of the truck was a little difficult because it was our first time. It's been working out. It's not the best design ever. We do have narrow streets, so it's hard to get a wider truck. That's why we went with something like this. We have all the plugs here on top, some over there. We have all our CCTV stuff here in the front, and then all the epoxy and all the mixing stuff in the front also. There's an AC unit inside to keep them cool, so it's they can be doing smart repairs during the winter, the summer. What's that?
Keeps the epoxy cool as well.
Yeah, it does keep the epoxy cool. Yeah.
Temperature is a big factor with the kickoff time. If it's really hot, you have way less time. If it's really cold, you have a lot more time.
So the two types of epoxy, the first one we started using, it was the neo epoxy, and went to the 2-part epoxy. That epoxy would kick in 4 hours, 4-hour cure time. It would take a little bit longer, obviously, it depends on the weather, but 4-hour cure time. And we would do it all the time. It was great. We would leave it for the night, come back the next day, and remove it. Everything was fine. Everything was good. Out of the 2,400 that we have, we've created about maybe 3 overflows, maybe something like that. You gotta be super careful because sometimes either we're gonna bypass the system or we're not gonna do the point repair. So it depends. You have to know your system. Then we went over to a 2-hour the pipe patch epoxy, the 2-hour cure window, which is awesome. They love it. Less odor, it spreads a lot easier, and 2-hour cure window.
And it pushed up the pipe farther too.
Yeah. So then for the high flow lines, 2-hour cure window, I mean, it's a huge benefit. Huge benefit, yeah.
And then the same thing, you only have 2 hours, so if you have a problem, you're pretty much throwing it away and doing it again. So
we did notice we've only been doing this for about with the new epoxy for about months, maybe 3-4 months. I don't know, maybe 6 months. I don't know. But we did notice that the epoxy does start kicking faster, and we have to be careful on, especially like this hot days. We got to be careful. We did have a failure on one of these point repairs because the ratio is 2-to-1 ratio. It's not 1-to-1 ratio like the other one. Even the company itself, they gave us a data sheet on telling us exactly how to mix it, but to their fiberglass dimensions, not to our fiberglass dimensions. That's why it's been a trial and error, because we go and we customize all this stuff for ourselves. Now we found with that point repair, we didn't mix it accurately, and then they installed the point repair, thought everything was good. Then, man, I don't know, a couple days, a couple weeks passed by, the maintenance department removed it out of the pipe. Thank God that they were able to remove it, because it didn't open up, it didn't stick to the hose pipe or anything. So then we learned that, okay, you know what, we really have to be careful with that 2-to-1 ratio.
So this is the part A of the 2-hour epoxy. We go 2-to-1. So 2 pounds of the part B to the 1 pound of the part A for a 4-foot patch. That's what we do.
And we have a chart. Yeah. So we have a chart inside that will tell you exactly how much epoxy to mix, right? And also what the formulas are to figure out what length, what width, what size pipe. Just everything. We have it on the chart inside. And also in the SOP, we have those dimensions in there, those formulas. That chart, it tells you everything, what we need to do.
So is this all your guys do? You guys are pretty dedicated to doing this?
100%, yeah. We have, unfortunately, we're trying to, it's been a challenge. So in the past, we only had the repair crew, 3 guys on the repair crew. And then we started the point repair crew with 3 guys also, total of 6, right? All of a sudden we went through a reorg, and all of a sudden now it's 1 crew doing both tasks with the same amount of guys. It's been a challenge. But this crew right here is 100% out doing the pouring repairs. So we've been also grouting manholes during the rainy season. So once we stop this during the rainy season, we go in and we grout manholes all day long. Yeah, especially when it's raining.
Yeah.
I said about another one over here.
Want us to bring that one over?
It's only ash from the fires.
You want to bring that one?
It's still hot in here.
Oh, that one's yellow.
As quick as possible, that way we can bring it outside.
That's what's gonna kick. This is the mixed epoxy. It's kind of a off-white, but it dries white.
So there's two sides to the fiberglass. One has the crisscross on it. The other side is smooth. So you want the smooth side on the inside the pipe, right? So you wet the crisscross first, and then you flip it to the other side. That way, when you roll it on there, the smooth side is inside, right? I don't know if it
You
makes
end up
sense.
holding it on itself?
We roll it like a burrito. Just roll it up. Yeah. And then we use those ties right there. We tie it up. We tie it up, and then we shoot it inside. And then when we start inflating it, those pop, and you're done. Yeah. It opens up completely. So we give it a 3-inch overlap on the repair. Sometimes you can do more. It doesn't really matter. You can't really see it, right? So it depends how much you want to do. We figured out 3 inches is good enough. So yeah.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, you guys can go up there, wet it, flip it, wet it, and then put the have our marks and have our marks set. We did come through a couple problems with the marks, so then I started investigating. It's like, man, what's going on with the taper? So then we nailed it. Even with the taper where we have it right now, we're super cautious and we reduce even those marks by a couple inches. The reason being is because once we push it through the pipe could move that patch forward or backwards, whatever it is, and then you're screwed. But that's why we have that buffer.
do it, it'll spread. Like the burrito will do it.
On the manholes?
Yeah.
Oh, on the fix?
If this was 150 feet, if the repair was 150 feet down, we'd have 150 feet of air hose hooked up at least, or more, obviously. And we'd also have 150 feet of hand rod, obviously. We'd be pushing it down the pipe.
Pipe we'd be scared to do. They're just using zip ties or any kind of twist tie.
And you guys, real fast, you guys see that? We have the lines right here. On either side, we do not want the patch to go past the black, or else this taper will not open up all the way to our 6 inches.
This is where we carry all the patches. They're all pre-cut, all ready to go in that box. We have it for 4-inch, 6-inch, 8-inch, whatever lengths also.
We have air off the back of the truck. We also have water off the back of the truck for when we take them out. They're full of stuff. Bad stuff.
Ready?
Just gonna air it up. Watch.
So he's got a gauge over there, and that gauge will tell him 25 psi, 28 psi, it'll be done. You can see the epoxy coming out of the joints. We had one that a resident poked our sewer line with the stake, went through our sewer line, caused a backup. We went and we moved the stake, we dug all the way down, exposed it. We were gonna do a repair. We got the equipment and we went up and we were able to see exactly where it was at, didn't even mark it, and shot up with it, blew it up and saw that it expanded it, it sealed it up.
And then obviously at this point we would hook it up to our tender tank, set the gauge to the correct PSI that we want to keep it at all night long or for 2 hours, depending on how long we're gonna have to keep it in. And it'll tend it 24 hours or longer until it runs out of air. And so it saved us our butt many times.
Any questions?
Pretty straightforward.
It's way nicer, way faster than digging. It's my favorite thing ever. I don't like digging. If I can do this, I'll try to do this before I dig any day.
I like doing anything.
That's right. What else?
Anything else? You guys have any questions?
We use a lot of gloves.
Yes, sir.
You have to factor in the amount of epoxy you put on it, the length that you're
Yes.
slide that in. Add a
No.
little more.
No. Sometimes we do, a lot of times we don't. But we do watch what kind of pipe we're going through. Especially if it's cast iron pipe, we're super careful with the ties, the condition of it. Also, when we're televising down the pipeline, we're able to see and pay attention to the offsets. How many offsets are there going to be? What type of pipe we're going to go through, stuff like that. Because then we're running a risk, like you said, with ripping some ties or ripping the patch or whatever it is.
Yeah, ever like lose any of the epoxy and slide it in?
Constantly. Yeah, with the epoxy we do. Yeah, but it's not enough to ruin the repair. We did have a problem once with one of the patches. When we went down it from the manhole, we were doing a cable pull. It was like a 220-foot line, and we were going down. As soon as that plug went into the pipe, we didn't really pay attention. The crown of the pipe scraped the pulling repair from the plug, and we removed it and brought it onto the tail of it. We thought everything was fine. We pushed it all the way down, blew it up. The next day we came back and couldn't pull it out. Done deal. We cambered it down and we saw that it was completely on the tail. So then we had to dig it up. That was one of the pictures that I showed you guys, completely just gone, and we had to dig it up. So then we learned that when we're pushing down, we put a lot of ties in the front of the repair, because that's where it's going to get the most beating. And then the back, we use a couple, and that's why we use hand rods. Good offset, you spin over it, you try to push through, you try to work your way into it.
Okay.
So you're not trying to fight the whole way up.
Yeah.
And if we're fighting it the whole time, a lot of times we'll put a camera behind it, make sure that it didn't slide off the back or something like that.
So we did, when we first started, we started doing it with a rope. We started roping them in. I'm not that big, I could not pull that sucker in. Even when we would get to a certain spot, if there was an offset, there was no way of spinning the plug, so we were done. All that effort, all that time, now pull the repair back out because we can't spin it, jump over that offset. So then we started going into the hand rods, and with the hand rods, you're able to have control. And when you get to a certain spot like that, you're able to spin it, and it will jump. It will twist and jump. For example, when we were talking about inside, there was a pipe that had a big offset where the tree was at, big offset, big void, and we had a guy with the camera down from the top rod hole, went down, and then we were on the other side, and he was able to tell us, spin it right, spin it left, and then finally we were able to go and hit that spot, and it says spin, so we spun, and it jumped over, and we were successful. Done deal. The other thing that a lot of people don't do is we have a lot of rod holes. We shove these plugs through rod holes. I guess a lot of people don't do that. We do. Yeah. When we first started, we had plugs that were wider, that were bigger in diameter, that would go from 6-inch to 10-inch. So we were having a really hard time going through the rod holes, but we would do it. Now we went into the smaller diameter plugs, and now we have even smaller diameter plugs that will go to 6-inch that will go through the rod holes. Rod hole, manhole, whatever we want to do.
The only thing with the rod hole, you can't have a tender tank most of the time because you can't fit it down into.
Because we do also open cuts, so open trench. So a lot of times, a couple times already, we came to scenarios that we're chasing pipe. We're chasing pipe, right? We're cutting the pipe, trying to get a good connection, and we're chasing pipe because there's a bunch of fractures. We get this equipment out there, and we'll do some core repairs, get some good pipe, good bite, and then we hook up to that, and our core repairs, our trench is done. Another way of what we do is we've done it almost the same idea, but in the manhole, we open up to the solid brand new manhole. We did the same thing. 3 core repairs, bring them in, and then we pour the base with the concrete. So there's a huge benefit with having this. to that plastic, but not the other, right? It sticks to everything. This was
the tablecloth.
Oh, this right here?
Leaking out right now.
It will stick to it. Yeah, it will.
It'll actually get really hot.
No, not
Like an hour, it blows up.
Over time, it will adhere to those. That's why we're gonna place them every once in a while.
This is the brace we use to actually push the hand rods or the carrier and the hand rods down. It's 150 feet or whatever, and then we usually mark off the top of the brace. So this is coming out of the top of the manhole. We'll mark off the top of the brace from our camera. So we push our camera down first. We mark right at the top of the brace, and then when we come back and we have the hand rods hooked up to our carrier, we push all the hand rods down, and when the mark that we transferred from our camera gets to our hand rods, gets to here, then it's right where it's supposed to be.
I know we came to this where there was a gas line that was plastic.
Yes.
And can you explain a little bit that, because Justin talked about the heat?
So, good question. We did come across a gas line that was right next to when they obviously hit our pipe, brought the gas line right next to our pipe. I was debating on putting in a pouring pair because of the heat and melting the pipe, right? The plastic pipe. So then I called the rep and I said, hey, I have this situation. I feel like I'm gonna blow it up. He says, this does not get hot enough to melt the plastic. So I said, perfect. We went in there, we did a pouring repair, sealed it all up. Everything was good. Everything was good. Yeah.
It'll melt through a garbage bag though. I've seen that many times.
But it will not burn through the PVC pipe, the plastic pipe. So, anything else? You guys have any questions? I don't know if you guys check this pipe out in the inside. It makes a really nice cut. So this equipment right here, what it does is with the main head, it'll bore a hole through first, and then you come in with this sanding paddles, put it on there on this, and you can see it right there. It's on there. You put them on this hub, clean it up. So that's exactly what we did. You're able to see that on this pipe right there. And we're not completely done with this because we want to cut it, open it up completely. But that's what it does. Our pipe is completely sealed and squared away. So the way we get that's another huge point for on how we're maximizing the production. When we first started, we waited for all this CCTV data to come in. As soon as it came in, we started going through it. Condition assessment supervisor goes and gets all the data, brings it back. The engineer and myself, we review it, get all the information, what pipes we're gonna restore, what pipes are gonna go out for bid, and then from there we started going through the information. When we first started, we were only doing from manhole to manhole if pipes had 3 defects or less. Those were the only ones that we were hitting. That's it. The first year passed by, and they saw crazy amount of money going to the contractor because it was super expensive. The next year, my boss says, get as much work as you can, keep it in-house, and we'll give the contractor other pipes to do. That's what we did. And that's how we maximize the production, because in the line, now we're able to do multiple repairs, multiple lines in that area, and then we're done.
Complete lines.
And complete lines, yeah. From point A to point B, get all the grade 4s and 5s out of the way.
Man, you want to talk about a
The what?
Right.
Oh, so we had a problem with one of our pipes. I think it was a ductile iron pipe underneath the bridge. It started leaking. So with this plug, well, actually not with that one, just putting in different pouring pairs, we were able to line the entire span. In how many days?
It was like 100 feet. We'd go in one end, in another end, pull it out, in, because you can go from both ends.
So we were able to line the entire section They did not have to go up and dig it up right away. They did not have to hire a contractor and spend crazy amount of money. We were able to do it. Now, on the same idea.
What size pipe was that?
What's that?
6 inch.
6 inch, yeah. On the same idea, our capital improvement project, it's been twice already this year that a contractor called us up and said, actually our inspector said they cannot shoot a liner because there's an offset, there's a break, there's something, right? And they're not going to do it. If they are going to do it, they're going to charge us an arm and a leg. Now, this instance, it was up in the hill. Our pipe was 12 feet below, right next to a house, and the house was like 15 feet from the actual road itself. There was a tree, huge tree right next to it. If they would dig it up 12 feet deep, and they said, we're either going to charge you a ton of money and rip that tree out and take the risk of ruining the house. We went in there, these guys went in there, 20 minutes later, put a point repair in, pulled it out, ready to go. Shot the liner, done deal. And then they called us out again for another one very similar to it, that they weren't going to shoot the liner. We did this, 20 minutes again, done. Yeah.
This stuff gets really hard. It's amazing how hard it gets. You can't, there's no crack in it. I mean, you could drive a stake through it probably if you got a single jack, big boy, but it's pretty stout.
Yeah. Out of the 2,400, how many total do you think that you've had go awry?
Right?
Oh, that you have probably.
Oh,
out of
that failed?
Out of your success to failure rate is what?
The ones that failed, I'd say less than 10. Less than 10, maybe not even close to 10, right? That failed. So, huge benefit. But even those that failed, we're able to fix. Now, go in with this. Give us another chance, open it up, and seal it up again. Yeah. So maybe it's going to go down to.
What was the reason for the failure?
What's that?
What was the reason for the failure? Do you know?
One of the reasons was the equipment. Yeah, the plug itself didn't expand complete. On the front portion didn't expand, the back portion expanded, stuff like that.
Blown up pigs, they ripped there from where?
Every once in a while, the patch will slide back. See, because this on this end looks just like this on this end. So if this is the back end and it slides over, this isn't blowing up. So then it necks down. And you got a 2-inch pipe inside a 6-inch at the end of it.
And you can cut it with that, right?
Now we can cut it with that.
Within 100 feet.
Any other questions? I think we're good.